Positive thinking is the one habit that shapes everything, fueling resilience, unlocking potential, and turning this year into your best one yet. And that is the thought for today. Welcome to 7 Good Minutes. I'm Clyde Lee Dennis. Thanks for joining me for what I believe will be 7 of the most enriching minutes of your day. In today's episode of 7 Good Minutes, we talk about positive thinking being the one habit that will make this your best year yet. Enjoy. Positive thinking is more than just a catchy phrase. It's a mindset that can change the way you experience life. When you adopt a positive perspective, you open yourself up to opportunities, solutions, and personal growth that negativity might otherwise block. Your thoughts influence your emotions, and your emotions dictate your actions. If you focus on the possibilities rather than the obstacles, you give yourself the ability to move forward with confidence. Every challenge presents 2 options: to see it as a setback or as a stepping stone. When you develop a habit of looking for the lesson in every situation, you gain resilience. You begin to trust that even difficulties serve a purpose in your journey. Positivity doesn't mean ignoring reality or pretending everything is perfect. It means choosing to focus on what you can control and believing in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. When you intentionally practice positive thinking, you create an environment where success becomes a natural outcome. Instead of dwelling on failures, you shift your energy toward learning and growth. The more you reinforce this mindset, the more natural it becomes. Over time, positivity becomes your default, setting the stage for your best year yet. Your thoughts are powerful, and they create the reality you experience. If you constantly tell yourself that things will never change, you begin to believe it, and your actions will follow that belief. On the other hand, if you remind yourself that you are capable, resourceful, and resilient, you'll start making choices that reflect those truths. Your brain is always looking for proof of what you believe. If you feed it positive, empowering thoughts, it will work to reinforce them. Think about a time when you accomplished something you once thought was impossible. At some point, you shifted your thinking. Maybe you told yourself, "I can figure this out," or "I am willing to try." That small shift changed your approach, and because of that, you succeeded. This is how powerful your mindset is. It's not just about motivation. It's about rewiring your brain to see possibilities instead of roadblocks. When you start believing in the best possible outcome, you take action that aligns with it. You stop hesitating out of fear. You move forward with confidence. The key is to be intentional with your thoughts. Catch yourself when negativity creeps in and ask, "What's another way I can look at this?" This practice alone can transform the way you experience life. Negative thinking can become a habit without you even realizing it. It might show up as self-doubt, comparison, or focusing on what could go wrong. But just like any habit, it can be replaced with something better. When you notice a negative thought, pause and ask yourself if it's actually true. Often these thoughts are based on fear rather than reality. Once you identify the pattern, replace it with something constructive. If your mind says, "I'm not good enough," respond with, "I am always learning and improving." If it says, "This will never work," counter it with, "I can find a way." Your brain might resist at first because it's used to the old way of thinking. But the more you challenge negative thoughts, the weaker they become. It's also important to be mindful of the content you consume and the people you surround yourself with. If you are constantly exposed to negativity, it will affect your mindset. Seek out uplifting conversations, inspiring books, and environments that reinforce the way you want to think. Your thoughts shape your life, and you have the power to choose better ones. If you could change just one thing this year that would have the biggest impact, it's this: start each day with gratitude. This simple habit shifts your mindset instantly. When you wake up and immediately think about what you're grateful for, you set the tone for the entire day. Instead of focusing on what's missing, you begin to appreciate what's already good. Gratitude changes the way you see challenges, too. When things don't go as planned, you'll find yourself looking for the silver lining. Maybe a delay gave you more time to prepare. Maybe a rejection led you to something even better. Gratitude teaches you that even in tough moments, there's something to appreciate. The more you practice this habit, the easier it becomes. You train your brain to naturally look for the positive, and this has a ripple effect on your mood, your relationships, and your success. Over time, gratitude doesn't just feel like a practice, it becomes a part of who you are. And when that happens, your entire outlook on life changes for the better. To make positive thinking a daily habit, you need a strategy. It's not about ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing how you respond. A simple way to do this is by reframing challenges. Instead of saying, "This is so hard," say, "This is an opportunity to grow." Instead of, "I'll never figure this out," say, "I'm learning as I go." The words you use matter. Another powerful tool is visualization. Picture yourself achieving your goals. Imagine what it feels like, what it looks like, and who is there with you. When you can see success in your mind, you are more likely to take the steps necessary to make it happen. Surrounding yourself with positivity is also crucial. Be mindful of who you spend time with. Choose relationships that uplift and encourage you. Protect your mental space by limiting exposure to negativity. When you make these intentional choices daily, positive thinking becomes second nature, and success follows naturally. The key to sustaining this mindset long-term is consistency. It's easy to feel positive on a good day, but what about when things don't go as planned? That's when this habit matters most. Commit to practicing gratitude, even on difficult days. Remind yourself of your progress, rather than focusing on what's left to do. Celebrate small wins. Success isn't just about the big moments. It's built in the little steps along the way. When you recognize your growth, you stay motivated to keep going. Finally, be patient with yourself. Changing your mindset is a process, not a switch you flip overnight. Some days will be easier than others, and that's okay. What matters is that you keep choosing positivity. The more you practice, the stronger this habit becomes. And before you know it, you'll look back and realize this truly has been your best year yet. That does it for today's episode of 7 Good Minutes. Please take a moment to rate and review the show on the platform you're listening on. Until next time, let's be civil to one another out there. Thanks for listening.